All right. I am back to my continued refactoring of the V5 one-sat indexer. Um, so I'm just going to start going through and seeing where we have files or errors and try to figure out how things need to get restructured. Okay, so it's going to just be a lot more of what I've already been doing of so the new store object, TXO store object that is my kind of main abstracted object. I need to make sure that all the different files have that wired in. So let's see how I did that otherwise. I'm not going to be a whole lot of narration here for a little bit. As I'm just kind of going through and updating references. What is this code all commented? Oh, well, that's BSB20. This one's not totally ready. So what I've got here in the kind of different executables that can be run. So basically there's kind of the main ingestion process. Oops, I gotta turn my notifications off so I don't keep getting binged by my phone. Okay. Everything in this command directory are essentially different different executable processes that can be run that kind of wire together all the different ingestion pieces. All right, fix that one. So for instance, this ingest command, there is an ingest queue. Actually, there can be many, many different queues for ingesting transactions. So for instance, we might have a Jungle Bus subscription that wants to get all, I don't know, maybe all OpNS transactions or all ordinals or all whatever. And that subscription process is going to populate this queue, and then this ingest process basically processes that queue. All right, that one's fixed. So this is an origin indexer. So origins are kind of the feature that ties multiple different transactions together for one-sat ordinal spend. So a one-sat ordinal can exist in many, many transactions over its lifetime. And when we ingest a new transaction, we can tell that it is essentially a one Satoshi output, and that it is a transfer of an ordinal, but without kind of crawling back the rest of the chain, we can't actually know what that ordinal represents. So this origin indexer kind of takes care of the process of crawling back to fill out the missing information for origins that are in the system. All right. Owner sync is a process that uses Jungle Bus and kind of just periodically loops through all the different addresses that are registered to accounts in the system, and it goes out and communicates with Jungle Bus periodically to see, are there any new transactions associated with that address. Log score. Where do I have that? Oh, it is on the store. Oh, I must have typed something wrong before. Oh, I typed the package, not the instance name. So these different keys are actually defined as basically public variables or public constants. So that's why the ones that I'm referencing in the package are just definitions of variable, where these are actually instance methods on the store I'm looking at. Okay. Oh, there's another one. All right. So this is kind of the general library for subscribing to transactions from Jungle Bus. So this is going to need a same store init. All right. I think we're just about ready to fire this thing up. Okay. So this right here is a database migration tool, which honestly I have not looked at how it works in a couple years now, but it's based on the files in whatever directory you point it to being named with in a certain way. You know, before I actually run the migration though, I might actually just try to manually run this in a database and make sure that it is accurate. So I think register server. Moraval is the name of one of my servers. It's literally the brand that made the case, and so it's printed on there. So, okay. Moraval. I think my dev server is set up with default username and password. Let's see if this works. Yes, it does. All right. We are going to go create database and call this ordinals. And then let's see if MySQL works. I'm sure there's going to be some problems somewhere. Line 16. Yep. Get rid of that. I bet you I've got a couple of those. Oh, no, I don't want to save this. All right, let's try again. First of all, did anything get created? No. Okay. Line 23. Oh, I missed one. line 53. Missed another one. Account owners does not exist. Okay, let me save my changes. Account owner. Aha. That's right. I renamed this the other night and didn't rename it everywhere. Let's actually see what I've got in my code for that database name. So I do have there, ACCOUNT. Okay, so my code is wired up to use account owner. And we also have account TXOs. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here. Whoops. Count ACCT does not exist. There we go. Okay, so now if I look at my tables, what do I got here? Refresh. Oh, I'm in the wrong database. Okay, account owner, account TXOs, logs, owner TXOs, Postgres or progress, Q, TXO data, TXO events. All right. Let's see how things work. So I am going to start up. Let's go into the server. Oh, I think I need to add, yes, I do. Actually, I'm not all done yet. So all of these, I refactored and made both a Redis and a Postgres store, but I believe all the code is pointing to Postgres or to Redis, and I want it to be, let's see here, server.initialize. Okay. And then this, might have to go a little further with my refactoring here. Where's my store defined? So, okay, if I go to accounts and I go to register account. Okay, I have a store here. This store, I think I don't actually want this in init. I think I want to have, actually, does the ingest context have a store on it? Yes, it does. Okay. So this is going to be, oops. Oh, it's just called ingest once it's set to a local variable. Enjoy the sounds of my dogs drinking water in the next room. Okay, so now I need to make sure that the ingest that gets passed in here from server, oops. Oh, apparently I didn't save a bunch of my stuff. So this ingest context needs a store. So now I'm going to go, oh, you close. That was my example. I bet you I'm going to have a bunch of these. Probably every one of these, actually. Okay, which that means now, oops, just take one of these as a reference. Okay, but in this case, I'm going to go with called PG store dot so I need to pass a connection string to need to new PG store. Oops. What am I? Oh, it also returns an error. Okay, so now this needs a, is it called store? Yes, it is. Cannot use stx. Does not implement dlog. Okay, let's pull the Redis one up over here. And look what dlog does. I don't have it there either. Oh, it's in this queue. You know what? I don't think I ever added those two. All right, so we're going to copy this, stick it here. Oops. Oh, yeah, that's doing an entirely different thing. Okay. So let's say boom error equals That looks right. That looks right. That looks right. Okay. Not sure why I'm using named parameters in some of these. Well, go back and forth. There are certainly times where I like not having to define a variable both in code and return, especially when I get into like nested error situations, but I don't need to fix that right now. Okay. Log score. That works. Hey, what, for this kind of refactoring work, Copilot is kind of a godsend. Well, I shouldn't say that. It just makes things quicker. All right. Now what's it complaining about? Get spend. Oh yeah, I didn't even. Well, no, I did. Oh yeah, we're gonna have to rework a couple things with these spends, I think. So that I believe on the Redis side. Is this the Redis one? Yes, it is. Get spend. So in how do I say this? In the Redis side of things, spends are stored at an entirely different key than the rest of the TXO data. So a spend is basically just, it is a transaction ID where that TXO was spent. And that can either be unset or it can be populated. So the nice thing about the Redis approach of having separate tables is it's real easy to process spends and process new outputs asynchronously, yes, but concurrently. And so if you happen to process the TXO first, it inserts that record. If you happen to process the spend first, it inserts that record. And then as you query them, it pulls those both together. Well, in this case, because they're both in one table, all of my kind of inserts and updates need to be intelligent upserts. So we'll take a look at that. I have got dogs who are begging for my attention right now. You guys want to say hi? Teddy, you want to come say hi? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, come say hi. Come on. Teddy's a big old baby. He thinks he's small and wants to snuggle all the time. Don't you? Yeah. Who am I talking to? You have no idea. All right. I'm gonna get down. I got work to do. All right. So, what was the method? Was it get spend singular? Get spend. So put this over here. Get spend, and I have get spends. Save spend, save. Get spends. There we go. Get spend singular. Actually, String. What does it think it is? Oh, it's just singular element. Now, I think I actually want to check one other thing here. So I think if that record doesn't exist, I don't actually want it to blow up. And I'm pretty sure if I do a query row, there we go. I think I'm in JavaScript or something. What's this double equal stuff? Actually, my JavaScript tendencies keep coming back here. All right, so if I have an error and it's not a no rows, then I want to return the error. Otherwise, I just return the empty string. If there is no rows, or if there is rows and it's populated, I return value. Okay, we should be good there. Let's make that v5. Okay. So let's go back over here. What are we missing now? Search out points. Search out points. Where do I have that on Redis? Well, Redis has its own. Oh, of course. I'm going to have to rework the search. I have more work to do than I realized. So let's copy this, put this over here. All right. I'm going to step away for a quick minute for a bathroom break. I'll be right back. All righty. I am back. So on the search side, pretty much everything that we've got indexed in the system are all ways of filtering down to specific subsets of UTXOs, or, well, and loading additional data about those UTXOs. So all the indexes are just storing pointers to transaction IDs, or to out points, I should say. And so this search library kind of provides a, how you say, standard interface for querying all that information. I have that one twice. I want the Redis one. Okay, Redis on this side. PG, oh, whoops. PG one on this side. Now, let's do this again. Okay. So we are no longer building Redis queries. So things are going to change quite a bit here. So what is kind of my top level entry point for this? Let's go to filter search. Okay. So we're going to say, looks like this is doing, oh, I have a build query. And that returns a Z range by for Redis. So I'm going to just have this return. Well, maybe I actually need to just do this whole thing differently. Build query called anywhere else. No. Okay, so we're just going to comment that out. Comment this out. Oh, but I do have range elements that come in here. Well, let's just start from scratch and see how we want to refactor it. So let's say if efg.reverse, let's say, I don't know if I can use a parameter in Postgres to specify sort direction or not. Let's do a little research. Postgres. Okay, order by clause. Parameterized order by. Well, I could have. Wait, order by. That's not even what I'm looking for. I'm looking for. Yeah, it is order by. That's where the ascending, descending is. Let's try the search again. Postgres, order by direction, parameter. That's not helpful. I could just string build it, but I'm not a huge fan of that. Well, we'll get around to that part later. Right now, I don't even care about that. So let's just say, so this returns an array of results which have a score and a member. So I'm going to actually create up here. And I believe I named these fields score and member. Events have, out point is what I call it. That's fine. That's actually accurate. You know what? Yeah, out point. And yep. Okay. So this is going to be EG result. And I'm going to go okay, the from this is too generic. I might actually want to consolidate these tables a little bit. So in Redis, there is a config key tells me which Redis key which Redis sorted set I'm reading this from, which means all our data is structured in the exact same way. So I'm thinking, what do I have here? I have tags, I have events, I have owners, I have accounts. I'm thinking this should all be one table, and we're going to greatly simplify everything. So let's just play with this for a second. So it is going to have a key. That's blue. You know what? Key is a reserved word in Redis. So let's call this, well, let's just call it search key. Not in Redis, in Postgres, I meant. Then we're going to have the member, which is text, and we're going to have the score. And in this case, the primary key is the search key and member. And we're going to have create index search bar on. Yep, that's right. Okay, so let's comment out these tables. Let's see where they're used. I think this is going to be a better approach to this. So I need to build the search key then, which I already have tools in. You know what? I think I just moved all that stuff to Redis. So let's go keys. I would then be using these exact same keys for Postgres. I kind of like that. So means we're going to move these back to where they came from before I started any refactoring. Let's see here. We're going to in here go new file. We're going to call it keys.go. Which of course means I just broke some things that need to get fixed. Downfall of my hiding all this code here is now I got to expand it to find out where the issues are. I meant to in fact, I think I did comment those out the other day, but okay, that fixes that. So then let's go back to my search here. So where we go here, this is not going to be TXO tags. This is going to be TXO search. And this field is called member. And I want to swap the order of these. Oh, this isn't called tag either. This is called search key. And I want to put that first. And this is going to be idx.tag. Oh. Well, let's go back to my Redis keys. Huh. Where is... All right, let's go to the same file for Redis. What am I looking for? Save TXO data. Oh, that's right. That's in a different library altogether. All right. So that's the only one of those. Let's look at TXO events. Here, that one is literally right below where I just was. So this is going to be exactly the same query as that one. And the search key is, oh, I didn't have the score here. Whoops. And actually, all of these inserts are going to need a that. And then this is going to be event key. And that takes tag and an event. So all these functions do is basically string build a key. So for the case of Redis, these are actually different sorted sets. And this is the key of those sets, where what I'm doing in Postgres is making them essentially as a field that is a key to the records, and I've got indexes on kind of different ways to slice the data. So I'm basically where relational database would typically, you have the kind of the clarity of defining a compound key as multiple different fields. In order to keep the abstraction the same, I'm not doing that. I'm doing that outside of the database and building a compound key just with a method. Okay, so then that's TXO events. Let's look at owner TXOs. So those, I didn't save the score there either. So let's go. Update account. I have, where's this? Well, that's not it. Owner account key. That's a search. I'm in update account. Oh, okay. So this is going to be insert into TXO search. So this every transaction that gets indexed in the system identifies what the owner of that output is. An owner is, it's an address in all cases right now, but it really is what the different indexers can parse out of the transaction. And so the process of working right here is when you are associating an address with an account, it essentially copies all the data that was associated with that owner or address and copies it into the account as well. And so we can search for TXOs by the address, or we can search for it by the account, which is made up of many addresses. And rather than at runtime kind of querying all those different sources and putting them together, we're simply indexing the data such that it can be looked up by the account. And so when we add a new address to an account, we take all the TXOs associated with that address and put them with the account. I think I just said the same thing twice, but that's okay. So I'm going to select member and score from TXO search, where tag equals, not tag, where search key equals 2. And okay, so 1, what I'm setting here is going to be idx.account key account, and where the search key was idx.owner key of owner, and I need to do a on conflict set the score. Oh, I'm not adding a score. I just did it again. Oh, because the score is coming from that other table. I want to do nothing. So in other words, if that record already exists, I don't care about it anymore. Okay, so owner account, progress. Those are not related to this. Okay, then we've got over here TXO. So this is when I'm saving it. So it's going to be the exact same thing I did with the events and the tags. Owner tag. Okay, that's where I'm working right now. Okay. So I think, oh, we got another one right here. What is this? Why do I do this twice? I think it's because I have different logic for doing one versus doing bulk to save some effort. Is that even needed anymore? Am I doing any bulk inserts or... Oh, wait a second. Oh, that was save spend. Okay. Yeah. So I think I can literally just copy this logic entirely. Oops. Well, that'll work. Okay. So means we can delete all these tables. Oops. Let's go back over to Postgres. Make sure that works. No, it doesn't. What do I have wrong? Search key member. There's a comma. Column member named in key does not exist. Ah, member. Yeah. Okay. Now will it work? Yes, it will. Okay, so then let's go and say account TXOs, delete. Owner TXOs, delete. TXO events. I named those backwards anyways, so good riddance to those. If I haven't made it clear yet, naming stuff is hard. I do not like it. Okay, so now we have a much simpler schema. I like it. So what am I missing here? Oh, everything in there. I didn't finish that yet. Okay. So now whenever we're doing a search, we're going to be searching that TXO search table. So let's say member score from IDX. Okay, I think that's actually it. Oh, okay. There's actually, we need to break this up a little more. And okay, so here's where things get interesting. Is we can go. There's this search. Let's actually pull up the search config in another. So search config allows you to specify a starting score, a limit, a direction. So what we need to do here is have different logic. We're going to go back to this. What is the best way to do this? To build SQL. So let's just actually figure out what we even have here. So and score is greater than -2 or than 2. So that's going to be, actually, let's do this. Oh, wow. Okay. I think I actually have a SQL injection issue if I leave it like that, though. How do you parameterize? This. Actually, I don't have a SQL injection because this value never comes from outside. This value is always created within the code. So I don't have to worry about that. So does Go have a string builder? And is this big enough that I even care? Yeah, I can do it with byte stop buffer. I don't think that's what I'm looking for. String builder. Right. Okay. Sure does. So let's do this. Is there a new builder? No. Okay, so it is. Okay. You know, before I worry about that, I'm just going to do it as a string, and we will optimize later. So this is the part I want. Actually, take this whole thing and just clean it up. Where? Oh, duh. Sorry, I totally screwed this up. The key is a field, not the table. The table is always TXO search. All right. So I'm even going to go where search key equals $1. Okay, so now when I actually do this, my key is going to be my first parameter. Let's just put this here. And now let's build out the rest of these queries. So and score is, so if I'm going a reverse direction, then I want to take whatever from value is given and make sure that everything I have is less than that. And I'm ordering by, okay, that works. And then here, we're going to do the exact opposite. Where score is greater than or equal to my from value. and I am sorting it ascending. Now, I do have a question about this greater than or equal to. If I go back to, I believe I actually want that to just be a greater than or just a less than, but yes. So in Redis, when you do range queries on sorted sets, I'm almost positive parenthesis is a open value, not a closed value. So I'm wanting to, so this is just going to be greater than, okay. I have 1 used twice. Whoops. This needs to be 2. That needs to be 2. That needs to be 3. That needs to be 3. So my first value is the key, then the from, then the limit. And don't forget your comments. Okay. So this is going to return me an array of PG results. So then filter spent, I can actually do differently, and I'm going to get to that in a second. This thing, I have no idea how that got misspelled. Okay, so search is going to return items. Items are PG results. So there is no, okay. So this is basically in the case of user and owner accounts, in the same data sets, we not only set new TXOs that the transaction outputs that owner owns, but we also store transactions where their TXOs were spent. And it's a little crude, but literally the only difference how we determine those is a transaction ID is going to be 64 characters in hex, and an out point is going to be more than that. So it's 64 characters followed by an underscore followed by a out point number. And so literally if the value is less than 65, so this is item.outpoint. So basically there's different ways you can get the data out of here. You can search everything, which includes the spends and the out points, or you can just get the out points. And so this method right here trims out everything that is 64 characters. With Postgres, there's probably a cleaner way I can do that in the database rather than in the code, but I'm not going to worry about that optimization at this point. Okay. Filter spent. I'll get to that. Did I really have this thing named membep in this member? I don't know where this P came from. Whatever. Okay, load data. Oops. Balance. So balance, I keep cached. for some period of time. That's going to be something might be a little hard to replicate in Postgres, and I wonder if I even care. I think I might just remove the cache for right now. And actually have the database add this up for us. So let's say row equals, well, that's totally wrong, but this is going to be sum of Satoshis from, okay, this is not doing a search. This is just, okay, so this is going to be from EXO search, where key equals 1. Okay. I think that's all I need there. Okay, what do we got up here? Filter spent. So this is a case where we're probably better off doing that in the search itself and creating an index in the database for it. Because this is in Redis, which is where this code came from. Like I said earlier, the spends are stored in a different collection than the I keep calling them collection, a different key in Redis, a different sorted set in Redis. Actually, it's a hash map. But because I'm doing it all in one field in Postgres, I wonder if that's a mistake. Maybe I shouldn't do this in one field in Postgres. I mean, it does mean an additional lookup, but otherwise it means an additional index. And even if I could actually do it with a join in Postgres. Let me see where this is called. Let me do it on this side because I know this side doesn't have any errors. So when I go search TXOs, oh, this is just a config value. Yeah, this definitely should be. We're just going to comment this out altogether. Oops, I never did return my results here. Oh, I didn't even finish this. Okay. So good thing I'm looking at this. I made other mistakes. So here, oops. If cfg.filter spent, then literally all there is to it. Why is this still a, man? I think Copilot is helping me out so much. I'm getting lazy and not actually checking what it does. Okay. We have that. Additional parameter there. Okay, so now I'm going to go back. Oops, jeez, oh Pete's. I'm going to go back and do the string builder now. So let's say SQL builder. So So I think I can go SQL builder write string. There we go. Okay, so filter spent is no more. That is no more. Okay. Do I have more broken code? Server still doesn't like something about store. What is it missing now? Sync account. Oh yeah, this goes back to several days ago where I was trying to figure out how to abstract this, and I decided to just put it where it was, or leave it where it was. I think for right now, I'm just going to copy it. And that's probably going to be fine, but it will probably get abstracted in the future. So owners, I believe, do I have account owners? Yes, so this is going to be, actually, I should probably, well, whatever. P.account owners PTX account. Oh. Oh, it's called ACCT. And that is going to cause me all think owners. So owner sync key. Okay, so this is just, so this is literally just keeping track of a block height where the syncing for that owner has where it left off essentially. So I'm going to move that into IDX keys, which means I'm going to have to go over here, change this back to IDX. Okay. So in this case, what I want is I have a progress table. Actually, that's probably what I should do on the other side as well. So let's see here. Let's go back to my account. So I am getting a score from, okay, so I think I'm going to go into my TXOs here. That might not be the best place for it, but that's okay. PG store, that's where I actually want this to go. So we're going to say func p we're going to call this get progress. Make a context. It's going to take a key. And it is going to return uint 32. I think that's exactly what I want. It does raise the question, why on the... Oh, wow. I got way too much stuff open. Why in Redis am I using... Oh. Okay. Never mind. What I just did was wrong. So essentially, there's one sorted set in Redis which keeps track of the current height for each owner that is being synced, which I can do with this table in Postgres, but I would need a different field as well. And in that case, it's pretty much the same thing as the TXO search. Or I could just create, I think I'm going to just create another table called owner sync. Okay. So, which also means I just moved that owner sync key and didn't need to. Do I care? Yeah, I think I do. Accounts. Okay. So now this is really going to be, I just created a progress, and that's not really what I want. I want to have a I'm going to say get owner sync progress. And this is going to be I didn't want that to be called sync height. That's a dumb name. Okay, that's better. Accounts, nope. Actually, this should go in accounts now rather than TXOs. All right, so select height from owner sync. Where member equals 1. Scan height, return height. Okay, and this can actually be a private method. So let's go back to our search. No, not our search, our accounts. Address. You know what? We're going to rename this. We're the same thing in here. All right. So I get the progress. I fetch the transactions, loop through the transactions. So I have, so this needs to be a p dot log score. I need an out point. Okay. A load TXO. Log score. What is this? This needs a tag and an ID. And you know, this is all local to this. So wait a second. I got to back up here. So I'm looking to see within this tag, have I processed this transaction before? That's what this is doing. And if I have, so if I have, then I continue on. So I don't ingest it a second time on the account think. So this really is p dot log score ptx. The tag is tag, and the ID is that right? What do we got here? Oh, this also returns a value. Oh, this, yeah. Okay, in Redis, it would give me a Redis nil if that record doesn't exist. Oh, that's fine. So let's just go score. So else if score is greater than 0, continue. Okay. So then I keep track of, oh, oops. Get owner sync process. I think this needs to be a float 64, which then means this needs to be a float 64. Okay, that all works. So, okay, if I've got a get owner sync process, I also need a, you know what, this doesn't actually need to be abstracted at all. This is the only place this is called. So rather than calling a method, we have a last height. You know what? I'm changing my mind. This is going to be a uint32 because that's okay. Key. What did I pass in as the key? I'm sorry, my brain is really not remember equals owner. Scan it into a height. There are no rows. Wait, if there are no rows, why do I return nil? That's Oh, that was the other. Jeez, oh Pete's. Get it together, brain. All right, so this doesn't exist anymore. Okay, so I have my last height. I'm gonna fetch my owners. That's all good. And then the last part is the opposite of this. I keep not liking how I defined this table. Oh, never mind. I like it fine. I just don't like how the okay, and then we need to go on. Yep, that. Okay. And my server is no longer blowing up that this is not a valid TXO store. So we have at least got it to the point where the interface works. So something still isn't right. Oh, yep. I moved this to IDX and I moved this to IDX. All right. I have a problem with my Redis database. Where is, oh, whoops. I think I know where the problem is here. Yeah. And then I need to go to my environment file. I need to go Postgres. Okay, does that work? All right, it appears to work. So what do I want to do here? I'm going to let's get Postman loaded up. Okay. So I want to go to my account controller. And I want to go put to slash account. That is v5 slash, that's the wrong server. I want this. v5 slash account slash the account ID. Okay. And this needs to be a put. And JSON. And I'm going to add my stick my ordinals address in there. Okay. We have an error. Noting. Well, that is missing an H. On conflict do nothing. Height of relation progress doesn't exist. That is probably the fact that I'm referencing the wrong table. I'm probably referencing progress instead of owner sync somewhere. Up to, yep, right there. Owner sync, owner height, on conflict, owner. There is a unique or exclusive constraint. There's no unique. I believe I want to go to my server here. Oh, recover is turned off. All right, so somewhere here, I don't actually have this blowing up where I want it to blow up. I want a stack trace when something doesn't work. Search key member. There's no unique. Oh, on conflict, on conflict. So let's look at on conflict and see where we don't have a parenthesis field specification after. We do everywhere. So that's not the issue. Owner sync owner, account owner. Ah, the account owner, the private key is just the owner, not the owner and account. TXO search, we do have search key and member. I think that might be it. Accounts does not exist. No, it doesn't. Man, this ends up being real sloppy when you just kind of let Copilot do its thing and trust it. This should be account owner. You know what? Now that I think about this, there really is no reason the owner sync in the account owner table here shouldn't be. Actually, this should be called owner account, not account owner. All right, we're going to do a little more refactoring here. Okay. So I'm going to call, we're going to do this. We're going to go create table owner counts. You know what? And now I do want this to be called sync height. And let me, and this is going to be IDX owner counts account. Okay, so now let's search everywhere for account owner. This is going to be insert into account owner. It's going to be owner account, owner account. Okay. That's all well and good. So go owner sync. Update account. Owner accounts. So this is really just about setting the sync height. Will I always already have, well, this is by owner. Update account. So this goes through. Okay. I think what this means is I don't actually need to do that because I'm doing it right here. You have a default. Oh yeah, oops, I forgot I renamed it sync height. It is going to default to 0. If results.rows affected. Okay, so that means when I was doing this, I was saying if this record already existed and nothing changed, then I was going to continue. Can I do that the same way still? I'm running out of brain steam here. I may need to take a break in a bit. So insert into owner accounts. Oop, too far. Oh well. So the whole point is, do I bother copying? I think I can do it like this. Postgres returning old value. Update. That's doing a select. It's got to be an easier way than this, isn't there? That's going to return the new value. Update a user's email, returning the old value. So that must actually query it before it does the update. I don't like that. I'm sure this is simple and my brain's just not working right now. Actually, on that note, I think I'm going to take a little break. I will come back and stream after I clear my brain a little. Yeah. I shall return later. Bye-bye.